This is Dr. Sandra Peterson, and I'll be talking with you about the Shadow Health experience. This is our digital clinical experience that will include some online practice for you with a digital patient. And as we'll see in just a few moments, Tina is an avatar, 28-year-old African-American female patient, and over the course of the semester you'll be assessing her through the Shadow Health modules. So I want to do a orientation with you today so that you understand where in the Blackboard to go to sign up for Shadow Health experience, and then we'll take a look at the Shadow Health website so you can see how the assignments are set up and what you need to do. So let's get started. First of all, this is your home page for the Advanced Health Assessment course, and we'll be moving to find our Shadow Health module to the sidebar there, which contains the menu. So we'll click on the Modules tab, or select it, and give it just a moment to come up, and you'll see that the very first module there is the orientation to Shadow Health. And what I've done here is to outline the steps that you'll need to complete in order to access the materials. Please be sure to do this early in the semester so that you're very familiar with the product, how to use it, how to navigate in it. There are some excellent orientation materials within Shadow Health, and the first two modules that will be assigned to you are orientations to the product. These are short video presentations that will help you to understand more about the product and how to ask our digital patient questions and how to interact with her. So you'll see in the Blackboard, again, this is under the Modules tab, there is a folder there. It says Orientation to Shadow Health. This also gives the Shadow Health website and kind of some initial instructions. It talks a little bit about our patient, Tina Jones, and she is a digital standardized patient. She's 28 years old, who's come to receive treatment for an infected foot wound, a fever, and decreased appetite. And although Tina is a digital patient, she actually breathes, speaks, and has a complex medical and psychosocial history, which you will become very familiar with over the course of the semester. Each assignment is listed in your course calendar. The Shadow Health module assignment corresponds to the topics we are covering in class. And over that time, as you're covering these various systems, you'll be able to practice with Tina. The good thing about this is that Tina is a patient that is available to you 24/7, and the modules can be done over several attempts if you like. You can, if you don't do as well as you'd like on the very first attempt, then you can go back and repeat that. And so there's an opportunity to learn. The modules do give you feedback. They offer tips on documentation, tips on other questions you might ask. So it's a great learning experience. And I think probably the most challenging part will be how to correctly ask Tina questions. One of the things that I learned in working with Tina over the break was that unlike a human patient, you have to ask her questions in a context. So in other words, if we were asking about Tina's foot, you might say, you could not say to her, "When did you injure it?" You would say, "When did you injure your foot?" because she has to have a point of reference in every sentence. So that's probably the biggest thing that I learned about her. And of course, in the little orientation guide that we'll look at in just a moment, I've given you some other tips on how to communicate with her. So once you've reached this page, you can click on the folder here, and it'll open up and you'll see the Digital Clinical Experience Student Registration Guide in PDF. Some of you have emailed already and asked about the pen for the class and all that. If you will go to this registration guide, you'll find that you have all of the information you need to register on the Shadow Health website. And so we'll go ahead and take a look at that just quickly so you can see what the registration guide looks like. At the very first point here, you'll see that it gives you the opportunity to navigate to the Shadow Health website. We won't do that just right now, but I did do some screenshots here so you can see that. And this is what the screen will look like when you go to the shadowhealth.com. You'll put in your UT Tyler email and go ahead and click on Sign Up Now. You'll want to enter your first name, last name, and your university name, the email address, all this, and confirm it. It'll ask you to confirm it. It's pretty self-explanatory, and I'm sure all of you have registered for something or another online, or perhaps when you've gone to see your doctor, they've had you sign up online registration. It's very similar to that. It's all you have to do is fill in the information. Now, you will come to a blank that will ask you to enter your course registration, and this is the pen, and it looks just like this. The pen format is just the numbers here, so it'll be the numbers that are listed there, and I've actually put them there to show you how the sequence is done. So you can see where my cursor is right there, just above the spring. You'll want to just enter those numbers. I have corrected those in the course calendar and the syllabus if you need help with the format. But these are the numbers that you would utilize in order to enter the course pen. And then there's another little checkbox that comes after that that will allow you, that asks you to review and accept the terms of service. And of course, it's like any website, you have to click that little checkbox, and it essentially says that you're not going to copy or use for profit the materials that are in the Shadow Health website, that you're going to be using it just for the purposes of learning. And then I put together some talking tips that I think will be helpful to you. And as I mentioned earlier, I think this was the most difficult piece for me, was learning how to ask Tina specific questions. Tina, she can understand, from my understanding of Tina, over now 60,000 unique questions. It said 52 in the information on the website, but in speaking with the folks at Shadow Health, she actually has more than 60,000 responses now. And so you just need to avoid questions that use pronouns like it or she. I've given an example there. It says, does it hurt when you put pressure on it? And can you apply pressure to your foot? Will get you a better response from Tina. And you always want to ask simple and direct questions, just like with a human patient. And you want to separate them out, because she can only comprehend one thing at a time. So we might say to our patient, our human patient, do you take drugs or alcohol? But really we should ask separately about both, because it makes it a little more clear. And so with Tina, that's true as well. Do you take drugs? Do you drink alcohol? And then you also have to remember to provide a context for her. She can understand questions, but she doesn't remember context. And so if you ask about the medicine she takes, you might, and you're thinking, well, maybe these are the prescription meds, but I want to find out more about herbals she might be taking, or other medicines like Tylenol that may not, that are of course not prescription medicines, but are over-the-counter medicines. So you would ask her, do you take any over-the-counter medications? This piece is, the next page here is that I'm showing you is the requirements to run digital clinical experience. So you'll want to check your computer to make sure that you're running one of these systems to make sure that you can play and respond or interact with Tina appropriately. This Unity 3D Web Player, which is the last thing under General Specifications on this page, you will have to download that, but when you first go into the modules on Shadow Health, there will be the opportunity to download the Unity Web Player, and you will need to do that in order to interact with Tina, so go ahead and plan on doing that once you have completed registration. This is some other information that I found useful. Make sure that you close any tabs and programs that you're not currently using. So once you're in the Shadow Health modules, make sure everything else is kind of shut down, because it does slow it down quite a bit, I noticed in working with it. And then also be sure, if you're using a laptop, be sure that you plug it into an external power source so that you get the maximum performance out of your computer. The other thing that was on the website I thought was was important was that you need to note that documenting finding does not unlock the findings in your exam report. So only asking or examining your patient directly will do that. So in other words, the only, and you will see this as we move into the modules, but only the things that you're asking Tina directly are included in what's called a summary transcript of your interactions with her. I think one of the most interesting features of this program is at the end of it you can look at a summary of your interactions with Tina, and it'll give you some feedback on them. And so you will be able to see what you ask her. However, it does give you the opportunity to document and to write a note on your findings. These things will not be included in that summary findings, only the things that you actually are part of your interaction with the patient. The other thing that I think is important that's a little bit different about interacting with an avatar is that I think some of us, perhaps who've been familiar with gaming technology or playing games on the computer, try to approach this like Tina is a real patient. And I found this a little challenging at first, but your learning experience, if you focus on practicing with her as though she's a real person, I think your experience will be a lot more helpful in terms of your learning. If you go into it like it's a game or don't take it seriously, I tend to think that you will not gain as much from the experience. Try to keep an open mind in working with this. This is a new technology that is being used across medical education, so it's something that all of us, I'm sure, will see, especially if we remain in academia. So it's new for faculty and new for students, but please try to give it your best effort. So as you can see here, I am signed in, and I won't go through the sign in because mine is a little bit different as faculty, and I don't want to confuse you. But once you get into the registration and you have completed your orientation, you can start to look at the course modules. In fact, I've actually put links in this course to the orientation modules as well, so you can you'll see something that looks very similar to this once you've completed your registration for the Advanced Health Assessment course. Remember that the PDF guide that I built for you is on the Blackboard under modules, and it'll tell you and guide you step by step how to register for Shadow Health and how to get into the program. So once we have completed that, we'll be at theshadowhealth.com, and of course this is a website outside of UT Tyler, so it's the website is given to you there in the Blackboard as well as in the PDF guidelines, and that's the same website that you'll go to every time you want to access the Shadow Health website and interact with Tina. Now, This is what the website looks like when you first move in to it. It has a course overview, and course gives you the information there. As I mentioned, the Shadow Health Graduate Introduction video, that would be the first one that you'll watch. We can actually look at that a little bit. See if we can get it to the page that looks like yours will look. Here, mine's a little bit different. But this is the instruction video, and of course this is the Unity player that I mentioned. I've already downloaded mine, but as you're in this Shadow Health website, it'll give you the opportunity to download it, and I've also listed the website where you can download it there in your little the little guide that I prepared for you, so you can see the website where you can download it, but it does give you that opportunity. It takes a little while for these to download and start playing. Okay, and you can see from that, we won't play the whole orientation. I'll let you have a chance to do that on your own, but you can see how they're set up, and you can see what Tina looks like from that little clip that we just looked at. So there's the introduction video, the clinical experience orientation, which you'll definitely want to do. These two should be the very first two that you do. Try to get to them early in the semester, because we jump right into the health history assignment, and it is included here for you as well. So once you finish those orientation pieces, and please be sure to do them before you attempt the health history assignment, you'll move right into that. It is accessed by clicking on the links, and you can see again this is what it looks like, and it starts with the graduate health history assignment. Make sure that you again do all of the pieces that are there. This one has 3 parts to it, so make sure as you're looking through the assignment that you've completed all of it. And throughout the semester, we'll look here quickly at the course calendar. I want to show you where that's located so you can see that as well. You'll see here on the course calendar taking it just a minute to download here. You can see on the right hand side of your course calendar for each of the modules is the notation that you need to complete the Shadow Health modules. The first one is due by the 20th of January by 9 a.m. And then also the
HENT module is due at that same time. So you'll want to make sure that you keep up with these. Again, here's the PIN registration there right in the center column, so that's the PIN number, and also the Shadow Health Digital Clinical Experience website. Hopefully this orientation will help you as you move forward in experiencing working with the digital patient. Certainly if you have any questions or need assistance, there is a help desk that is open 24 hours a day. And that is, of course, in the module that we just looked at a moment ago. And it's also in our course module. I've listed it, I believe, right here at the bottom. And there's support at shadowhealth.com. You can email them at any time. There's also phone number contact that's in the modules as you do orientation. You can write that down as well as you prefer to reach them by phone. But they're around and can help you. They have a chat line and all kinds of things set up to help you with your experience or if you have any problems with the website. I wish you a very good semester and hope you enjoy your time with Tina, our digital standardized patient.